Well, I'd like to begin by thanking Don and Jan and the foundation for their forward-thinking leadership that helping us all close this gap. And I wanted to just mention that in my 45 years in education in Marin County, I think that the last 18 months of the staff development that the grant has provided has been the best staff development I've ever experienced. And it's just changing everything. The other thing that I have to say that I lucked out, I landed at a school with an incredible staff. They had been through some hard times, that's why I was transitioning in. And then a financial crisis, the reduction of staff, and everybody's doing a little bit more. But they've been open to everything. They've been positive about change. They're open to growth, open to learning, and they're just very, very great to work with. So our first partner is Daphne Cummings. She's the director of our preschool, Shoreline Acres.
Hi, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the relationship that Shoreline Acres has with Tomales Elementary School. We are very privileged that we are located on campus. We are directly next door to the kindergarten classroom. This is my second year being on site, and just kind of continuing in the theme of building relationships and connections. I think that the grant and First School as well have really provided the time and the space, the opportunity to make the partnership with preschool, kindergarten, pre-K through 3. So I think it started with our fall conference down at Marconi, and coming and having the opportunity to talk with teachers when there weren't children around, and really the culmination of that being the First School Summer Institute that we had together, where we could talk about what the research was showing and our practices and our thoughts, and really having a dialogue about it, and then making sure that we are really aligning pre-K and up through our K, hopefully. So this has really helped us build those connections, and throughout the school year, we do participate a lot with the elementary school. I go to all of the teacher meetings, so we really know what's going on in the classrooms, and if there's something changing in the elementary school, the preschool knows what it is, and we can be part of the conversation and really adopt some of the wonderful practices that I think my colleagues are going to tell you guys about. So I'm just really happy that we have the opportunity to collaborate and to really bridge this kind of gap from preschool to kinder and on. So thank you. Oh, sorry. I wanted to introduce Courtney Fritchie, who is the 3rd grade teacher at Tomales Elementary.
Good evening. I'm so excited to be here and tell you a little bit about some of the positive changes that we've made at Tomales Elementary School over the last year and a half. And many of these programs were made possible by carryover money from the grant, so we're so grateful for that. One is the implementation of TES in Motion, which is a morning movement routine, which we do for the first 15 minutes of every school day. And it's led by this amazing PE teacher who also happens to be my husband. And it just really helps wake up the students' brains so they come into the classroom focused and ready to learn. And it's really also helped to establish a great sense of community. We've got K through 8th grade students, teachers, some parents, as well as members from the district office out there. We're all moving to upbeat music, and it's just really a wonderful way to start each morning together. Another positive change is the implementation of Footsteps to Brilliance. It's a computer program that focuses on phonics, vocabulary development, and reading comprehension. And some of the highlights include that this is a bilingual program, and students are able to move quickly and easily back and forth between English and Spanish. It's also interactive, so as students are reading stories, they could play with the pictures, and they get a really big kick out of that. They can also write and illustrate their own stories and then print them out, and they get so excited to show their finished products. And another great feature is that it doesn't require internet access, so parents have been able to download Footsteps to Brilliance on their own devices, and then students can go home and access it there as well. One of my personal favorite programs that we've started using is Accelerated Reader. Last spring we had all of the books in our school library as well as our classroom libraries leveled and labeled, and this was obviously a huge task. But some of the reasons why Accelerated Reader is so beneficial is its ability to differentiate what students are reading based on their individual reading abilities as well as their interests. Its ability to set meaningful goals that are individualized to the student, as well as the ease with which you can monitor students' progress. We've just recently given students their re-leveling test, and we're really pleased with their progress as well as their enthusiasm to be reading and taking quizzes on books. We have also been able to purchase iPad minis for the pre-K through the 8th grade students, and having access to these iPad minis really makes Footsteps to Brilliance as well as Accelerated Reader accessible to students within the classroom. And another wonderful benefit is that it enables us to work with smaller groups of students to really provide quality targeted instruction while other students are on Footsteps to Brilliance or Accelerated Reader or other educational apps. This year we're also being creative with the way that we are providing interventions in order to make up for having lost an intervention specialist last year. So in our packet you could see an example of this with an 8th grade teacher, 8th grade math teacher who is now going into the 4th grade classroom to help out with math on a daily basis to provide additional support in that area. So I'm now going to turn it over to Rihanna Kaplan, who's our 2nd grade teacher at Tomales Elementary School, and she's going to be talking about our Reading Buddies program.
All right, so on top of all of those wonderful activities, we've also been able to expand our high school Reading Buddy program. So we have a class that was developed at the high school that's specific for this Reading Buddy program. And so 2 days a week, the high school students are doing things up at the high school, but 3 days a week they come down and work with our students and one-to-one. And then that allows, again, for us to have small group opportunity to do targeted instruction based off of student need. This allowed me, for the first time ever in my long 6 years of teaching, that at this, before Christmas break, I had 98% of my class mastered all 300 sight words, which was, amazing for me because it's never been done in my career. So it's just wonderful opportunities. But on top of all of these great programs, we decided after the first school training this year that we were going to develop a culture of improvement at our site. We realized that if we wanted the students to feel safe, be happy, and be willing to take risks, we must first make sure that the staff felt this way. We were all given t-shirts that read, "We are not perfect, we are just working on it," to remind ourselves that no one is perfect, and we don't have to feel like others are judging us for what we are doing, and there is no need for us to judge others. We needed to support one another and work together for the benefit of our students. For me personally, this culture of improvement allowed me to take many risks and try things I have never done before. I literally threw out almost all of these, behaviorism things I had been doing after listening to Adam, and decided I was jumping, both feet in all the way, knowing that at any moment, if my principal were to walk into my room and it was chaotic, he would be supportive of my trial and error process to better serve the students. And you can just really feel among the campus as we wear our t-shirts or post our signs that the staff each day, each week is starting to feel more supportive, less judged, and then that transfers on to the students. The other idea that stuck with us after the Summer Institute was that small changes make a big difference. So we walked away with 3 things in mind that we wanted to ask of our staff. And this felt wonderful for me, being the one who was going to have to, bring this message back to the staff, that I wasn't going to have to tell them everything we had learned and pile it all on them, but just to ask of them to make a few changes. One was to post a sign in each room that showed the 2 jobs of the teacher and the 1 job of the student that you've heard mentioned before. And you can see in our packet, there's an example of the poster that each teacher was given to post in their room. The second, we asked the teachers to embrace the idea of approaching the students with the phrase, "How can I help you?" In order to help the students feel safe and respected and to turn every moment into a learning opportunity. And even for me, someone who had gone through the 4-day training, this can at times be very challenging. But I can see the differences in my students' faces when I can take that deep breath and start my sentence with, "How can I help you?" rather than expressing my frustration or shock at a student's behavior. And so last was to survey the students on a regular basis so that we can consistently evaluate how things are going and make sure that the students feel safe on our campus. And so that's something we have been doing, and doing our best to really recognize the student voice on campus. And next, our special ed teacher, Mary Pepper, will.
Thank you. I can tell you that a lot of the first school strategies work beautifully with special day class students. I have a class of 3rd grade through 8th grade special day students who are mostly severely emotionally disturbed and learning handicapped. I was really looking forward to trying some of the strategies that I'd learned this summer, but I wasn't too sure how my students would react to them. What I had been used to doing was a lot of kind of scripted reading programs, math programs, social skills development program. So it was like a breath of fresh air to be able to just be a giant ear and listen to my students and let them tell me what they want to learn, how I can help them, how they can help me do what I need to do, which is teach them what they need to learn and keep them safe, and then their job to help me do my 2 jobs. So over about a 4-week period, my students worked collaboratively. My 8th graders, my 3rd graders, they worked together. They sometimes worked with the teacher. They sometimes worked with their same age peer to develop a list of rules, but they're more like strategies for success at school. And it was very interesting because I wouldn't tell them anything, I would just repeat what they said, reword it, take pause time, encourage them to take pause time so they could really think about the issues that were happening. And sometimes I would try and take the point of view of maybe a peer. Because my students are so well integrated into the school, they run into a lot of social issues. And so it was a little fascinating to me to find out that their #1 issue was being accepted by other kids and feeling like they were bullied. So we spent a lot of time talking about and role-playing and figuring out strategies that we could use to solve that. And those strategies have been very effective. We talk about them every day. The students wanted something that they could work for, and they came up with that too. They wanted a trip to Chinatown, which they've earned. One of my third graders wanted a fun Friday, and my older kids had no idea what that was. So every Friday, we play educational games, watch a movie, whatever the kids put together, given the fact that they've completed and had a really good week. So I encourage everyone to go with the program, even if you have a class like mine that is special needs. Thank you.
One last component, and I'm really appreciative of Bahia Vista's Family Center, because you're where we need to go. We have a lot of work to do in terms of family engagement, and so I really appreciate your presentation tonight. It's very, very nice. But we did this year move our Family Center from a small office to a full portable. It has a kitchen and a seating area and a work area, and we'll have computer stations in there. And I think there's a picture on that, where our families use the kitchen to make tamales for our posada this holiday season. And we've also, Marisol Salgado has arranged for 20 of our parents, Latino parents, to return to college, or go to college. She got a $1,500 scholarship for 20 of them. And they're all enrolled for the January semester at Santa Rosa JC. So that was really wonderful. A major accomplishment. I don't know exactly how she did it, but I know our fourth grade teacher helped her. So I think that's the last thing I want to say. I will mention the thing about evaluation. After going to Marconi and hearing about the EduSnaps, we decided with the primary staff in our evaluation process, we started to formalize our self-reflection, and we call them Polaroids, where we started looking at self-reflecting, how could we add minutes of small group instruction to the day? And each of the teachers set a goal of either 10 or 15% of increase. And we, by the end of the year, they blew it out. They went well beyond adding 15% of their day. So, and that's what I mean about their willingness to try new things. And so we evaluate now in collaboratively. We work in teams because we believe that you don't change the individual. You change the team changes the individuals. So thank you.